All black people are good at sports. All Middle Eastern people are terrorists. All white people can dance, and all white people are rich. Am I right? Of course not. You see, these are stereotypes, and according to Cardwell in 1966, a stereotype is a fixed generalized belief about a particular group or class of people. Does that make them true? You see, we live in a generation where stereotyping has become a normality. Some people notice it and some people don't. Mean, right? In the beginning of this video, I am sure you were shocked about the things I was saying. These are the things that real people go through in the real world. For example, one time I stumbled across this YouTube video. It was a social experiment YouTube video. And if you don't know what a social experiment is, it's a video conducted with human subjects in the real world. And in this video, it was an African American and Caucasian man asked random people to use their phone to call someone. In this video, the Caucasian man went up to a random person and said, "Hey, can I use your phone to call my girlfriend and ask her to pick me up?" Many people had no problem giving the Caucasian man their phone. A few minutes later, an African American male used the exact same phrase very respectably and approached the exact same way. When the African American male asked the same man, the man came up with an excuse. "Oh, sorry man, my phone just died." Many people came up with an excuse. But why did they let one man use the phone but not the other? Why is it so easy for one man to give his phone up but not the other? I can tell you why. It's because of stereotypes. In this social experiment, the typical stereotype for an African American male is that they are scary and they're going to do something bad with his phone, like run away, steal it. There's a lot more. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned a stereotype about black people. Well, to begin talking about black people, in my opinion, I don't think anybody is black. In my opinion, black is a color, not a race. White is a color, not a race. We wouldn't walk around saying, "Hey, I'm yellow," or "Hey, I'm purple." There are different races. The races are African American, European, British, and a common stereotype for African Americans is they like watermelon, Kool-Aid, fried chicken, and they are bad people. Most importantly, the stereotype for African American females is that they are loud and arrogant. An example of this is in a popular movie. There is always a rude and obnoxious African American female that smacks her mouth with gum and pats her hair and is rude and obnoxious, along with an African American male that is a bad guy. He usually does the crimes in the movies. He lives in a low minority house and goes through the struggle of not having enough money. These are the stereotypes that African American people go through. I am an African American female, and I don't fit the average African American stereotype. Of course, this makes no sense, but I have often heard the phrase of "I speak white." I can't speak a color. It's very difficult to speak a color. But because I don't fit the African American female stereotype, people think that I speak white. I do not like fried chicken. Quite frankly, I want to become a vegetarian. I have noticed that when some African American people walk into a certain store, cashiers pay close attention to them because of the stereotype they're going to do something bad. Another stereotype is the Caucasian stereotype. A common stereotype for Caucasian people they are forced to deal with is the idea that they cannot dance. This is not true at all. There are some people that come from all different cultures and backgrounds that are talented and that can really dance. But the society and social media mainly focuses on Caucasian people about not being able to dance. An example of this is on social media. There's lots of videos, and someone even created the hashtag "Stop White People You Cannot Dance." Not only is this a stereotype to the entire group of Caucasian people, but it's also racist. There are people on the internet dancing just to have fun, not to be judged. But now people post videos of them having fun and joking around, and they often get judged for it, and this creates a stereotype of that certain group of people. Another stereotype that Caucasian people have is a stereotype that they're always rich. This personally makes no absolute sense to me because everyone has to work to get where they are. And I once heard someone tell me, white people are so lucky, they have everything handed to them. This did not make any sense to me because everyone has to work for where they are in life. If someone has a big house, a nice car, it's because they worked to get there. They had a job in order to get these things. Success is not an overnight thing. Someone doesn't wake up one day with all these things just granted to them. They have to work for it. And this certain group of Caucasian people, they're often stereotyped for being rich and having more money than others. But what about Muslims or Middle Eastern people? How often have you heard, "I always thought Muslims are terrorists"? This is crazy because this is a very broad stereotype. My best friend is a Muslim, and she is certainly not a terrorist. She is the sweetest and most kindest person I know. But the rest of the world sometimes sees her different, as, oh my gosh, a Muslim, run away before she blows up everything. She wears a hijab on her head because of her religion. But to the world, when she has a hijab on her head, the world sees her as a threat. And they wear this because of their religion, and they get judged for it. An example of this would be another social experiment video I watched in which a Middle Eastern man, sat next to another man with a bag in his hand. Of course, many people follow the stereotype that they are terrorists and ran away from this person. Of course, they're not going to do something bad because they have good intentions and good heart. These are labels that the world force feeds us and that we are forced to take, swallow, and digest them. When we are young and growing up, we do not have the mentality that Muslims are terrorists or doing this, and now the world has changed ever since then. We developed these stereotypes over the years. What about gay people? How often are they stereotyped and you don't realize it? How many times have you heard or even said the phrase, "She doesn't look lesbian or gay"? They are stereotypes for gay men to wear tight clothes, makeup, or even having creative hair. A stereotype for a female to be lesbian, in some cases to wear their clothes baggy, to wear hats, and to just have a lot of their clothes sagging even sometimes. Well, being gay is the act of a male having interest in another male. But if you see a man do a certain thing, a stereotype that people say is, "Dude, that's gay." For example, if a man listens to a certain song, another man might call him gay. But in my eyes, because he's listening to a certain song, that doesn't mean that he likes males. But there are many different stereotypes in the world, and how people deal with them, that's their choice. Such as my story about the guy walking to the store and the cashier staring at him thinking that he was going to do something bad. Not only is there stereotypes of races, there are also stereotypes of gays and lesbians, let's not forget. But I must say, these affect people's lives because they are discriminated against because of the skin they are born with or their sexual preferences. So I hope you know now the different types of stereotypes in the world and how they affect someone's life. Imagine placing yourself in those people's shoes. The people that are stereotyped. You wouldn't want it happening to you, and I certainly hope that you wouldn't do it to others. I just hope you think about the next time that you decide to judge someone based on what they look like or how their sexual preference is. Well, my name is Crys.alene, and thank you for watching my video on stereotypes. Bye!